Meet Jack Byrnes. A cloak and dagger, meticulous, fastidious highbrow. Quite literally. Angela Byrnes gave birth to a gimlet-eyed Jackie boy circa 1945. He was an only child, finding solace in crashing toy trains or putting on a cape and saving the day. It was Christmas Eve and Jack had convinced his mother to let him open one gift. He had his eye on the rectangular figure wrapped in blue packaging. A stark contrast from the habitual red with dancing elves on it. It was the first of its kind. Primitive by modern standards, it was nonetheless the birth of modern wargaming for the commercial market. Tactics. Jack always knew that he was inherently smarter than most. This we know to be true in present day. He relied on his native wits and his natural aptitude to employ Machiavellian stratagems, both of which he'd be able to exercise in his newfound pastime. Many would credit this board game to be the reason Jack enlisted himself in the Vietnam War at the ripe age of 18. The war represented a major cataclysm in American history that polarized American citizens and their views of their once revered government.
Public servant has led to surmises, but I can just assure you flatly.
Picking up obliterated remains of his comrades and digging sloshy graves, Jack realized early on that he was fighting for those beside him, not those in the Oval Office. A year into his tour, Jack and 3 fellow soldiers fell captive to a Vietnamese prison camp where he spent 13 of the most agonizing months of his life. Only he was able to escape in the dead of the night as his 2 companions met their demise in famish. Despite the woes of war, stress, and trauma, Jack found it to be his irrevocable duty and responsibility to carry out his oath in serving his men. But unfortunately, the court-martial had other plans for Jackie Boy. Jackie wouldn't have realized it then, but this was the best thing to happen to him since that Christmas Eve of '54. Without that discharge, he'd most likely die on the battlefield and he would have never met Dina. Not one to call it fate, but more like a fortuitous encounter. Jack never set his eyes on another woman after he met Dina. She was young. She was curious.
Cannot.
She was blonde.
Touch her.
And she reminded him of home. Jack returned to America with a +1 and a new lead on life. While Jack was steadily earning prominence in his new profession, Bernie and Rosalind Focker were conceiving in a gas station bathroom during an anti-Vietnam War rally in the spring of '66. High on psychedelics, the counterculturists agreed that if their unborn child were a boy, his name would be Gaylord, as a finger to the Federal Republic of the United States. 9 months later, lucky him. The name Gaylord means joyful or high-spirited, neither of which described his adolescent years. Because with a name like that, he could barely befriend anyone.
Wait. So your name's Gay Focker? I'm sorry. It's not a normal name, you know?
But he found a way to cope. A rerun special of the hit sitcom, The Brady Bunch. Gaylord developed an obsession with the fictional family. Their ability to maintain optimism and cast away any true grief and discomfort by the time an episode concluded became a reverie. Gaylord began to exaggerate the truth about his actual family and other minor details of his life. As an unforeseen consequence, he became a compulsive liar. Anyone who knows Gay would say that his fixation with the Brady family teetered on the edge of complete immersion, and Greg Brady was the final push. The grooviest guy in Westdale High, a young Casanova that grows up to be an accomplished obstetrician nurse. Guys wanted to be him and the girls wanted to be with him.
Hi, doll.
Hi.
One night at dinner, Gaylord refused his father's request to pass the container of Chinese food. He demanded to be called Greg and that he wanted to be a male nurse when he grew up. And you know the rest of the story.